This is the African News Update on Top Accolade News. The headlines: Gabon grants amnesty to coup participants. Macron acknowledges French violence in Cameroon. Ugandan opposition challenges military tribunal law in constitutional court. Bank of Ghana pushes for domestic gold refining. We start today with the focus in politics. Gabon grants amnesty to coup participants. Gabon's Council of Ministers has approved a sweeping amnesty covering participants in the 2023 coup and a failed 2019 uprising, paving the way for the release of key figures. Transitional President Brice Oligui Nguema hailed the move as a step towards appeasement and a national reconciliation, while the government also unveiled an ambitious economic reform agenda aiming at 10% growth, tighter fiscal controls, and value-added production. Certain sectors, including hairdressing, phone repair, and artisan gold mining, are now reserved for Gabonese citizens to boost employment and formalize the workforce.
Nous parlons de la démocratie.
Observers says Gabon's success would depend on the effective implementation of both political reconciliation and economic reforms as the nation seeks stability after years of upheaval. Still in politics, Macron acknowledges French violence in Cameroon. French President Emmanuel Macron has acknowledged that French forces committed violent repression in Cameroon during and after its struggle for independence, following a joint report by Cameroonian and French historians covering 1945 to 1971. In a letter to President Paul Biya, Macron admitted that colonial authorities and the French army carried out severe repression, resulting in tens of thousands of deaths and the killing of independence figures. While he took responsibility of France's historic role, Macron stopped short of offering a formal apology or committing to reparations. Historians stressed their role was to document the facts, not recommend reparations, but Macron expressed willingness to cooperate with Cameroon to make the findings accessible for research. The admission has drawn mixed reaction from Cameroonians, highlighting ongoing debate over recognition, accountability, and France's colonial legacy in Africa. Moving on in politics, Uganda opposition challenges military tribunal law in constitutional court. Uganda's largest opposition party, the National Unity Platform, has filed a case in the Constitutional Court challenging a new law that reinstates the right for military tribunals to try civilians. The Supreme Court had previously ruled that such tribunals lack the legal competence to conduct fair criminal trials. NUP officials argue that the law was passed without proper consultation and is being used to target political opponents of President Yoweri Museveni, who has ruled for nearly 40 years. Critics point to cases like veteran opposition Kizza Besigye, detained for almost 9 months on treason charges and repeatedly denied bail, as evidence of the military court being leveraged against opposition figures, while the government maintains they are intended to curb politically motivated violence. Turning to economy, Bank of Ghana pushes for domestic gold refining. The Bank of Ghana is advancing plans to expand domestic gold refining and value addition, aiming to boost export revenues and strengthen the country's role in the global bullion market. First Deputy Governor Dr. Zakari Mumuni, speaking at the 2025 GHIB Coverage Conference in London, highlighted that while Ghana is Africa's top gold producer, most of its output is exported raw, limiting economic gains. He highlighted strategies including the Domestic Gold Purchase Program and the Gold for Oil Scheme, which have already increased national gold reserves from 8.7 to 33 tons. Dr. Momoni stressed that local refining would improve earnings, reserves, and supply chain transparency, potentially positioning Ghana as a West African refining hub, provided regulatory frameworks and environmental safeguards are maintained. You're watching the African News Update on Top Accolade News. Do stay with us. Still to come. Thanks for staying with us. Still in economy, DRC Mining Company denies U.S. allegations amid sanctions over armed groups. The Congolese mining company Cooperative has strongly rejected U.S. allegations linking it to armed groups and illegal mineral smuggling in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. The U.S. Treasury Department recently sanctioned CDMC alongside the armed group Paraco FF and two Hong Kong-based exporters, citing illicit sales of minerals from Rubaya, a region now partly controlled by M23 rebels. CDMC says it is a victim, not a perpetrator, of conflict and pillaging that have destabilized the area, claiming armed groups prevent it from exercising lawful control over its concessions. Rubaya produces 15% of the world's coltan, a key component in electronics and aerospace industries, highlighting the strategic importance of the region amid ongoing effort by the U.S. to curb violence and bring stability. Moving to environment. Cape Verde declares state of emergency after deadly floods. Cape Verde has declared a state of emergency on the islands of São Vicente and Santo Antão after flash flood triggered by tropical storm Erin killed at least 9 people and displaced 1,500 residents. The storm dumped 193 millimeters of rain in just 5 hours, far above the annual average, causing widespread destruction of homes, roads, and vehicles. The Deputy Prime Minister called the floods catastrophic, while Interior Minister Paulo Rocha described the night as marked by panic and despair. Rescue teams continue searching for the missing as local and international efforts, including fundraising by Cape Verdean diaspora, mobilized to provide food, water, hygiene products, and emergency supplies. Meteorologists warned that the extreme rainfall was rare and difficult to forecast due to limited radar equipment, highlighting the urgent need for disaster preparedness on the islands. Moving to entertainment. Kwame Yeboah declares Highlife music dead in Ghana. Ghanaian multi-instrumentalist and producer Kwame Yeboah has declared that Highlife music is dead in Ghana, arguing that most contemporary artists rely on computerized beats rather than traditional live instruments. Yeboah highlighted that bands which stay true to Highlife with live performances rarely perform locally and often tour internationally. He also questioned whether modern artists like Kwame Eugene truly represent Highlife, stressing that while computers can produce the genre, authentic Highlife lies in the use of live instruments. Yeboah warned that preserving the essence of Ghana's musical heritage is crucial for showcasing the country's cultural value globally. Now in sports. Accra Sports Stadium confirmed as Ghana's only approved CAF venue. Ghanaians club Asante Kotoko and Bibiano Gold Star will play their 2025/2026 CAF Interclub home matches at the Accra Sports Stadium after the Confederation of African Football confirmed it as the country's only approved venue. Kotoko, competing in the CAF Confederation Cup, will face Nigeria's Kwara United, while Gold Stars, the 2025 Ghana Premier League champions, take on Nigeria giant JS Kabylie in the CAF Champions League. CAF's inspection revealed that no stadium in Ghana currently meets all continental requirements, and although Accra Sports Stadium has received conditional approval, urgent upgrades will be needed. Both clubs will share the venue, raising concerns over pitch quality and scheduling as domestic fixtures continue, while fans prepare to travel to the capital to support their teams in a challenging continental campaign. That concludes our African news update for today. Stay tuned for more African news and developments. Thanks for joining us. I am Ojarome Okocha. Connect and engage with us on all our social media handles. Do have a wonderful day.